Okay, so in this video, what I want to give you, I want to give you the same formula we use. And again, we've been talking about it in previous videos. And what this is going to help you do is it's going to give you a reproducible set of steps that you can follow every single day. And what I'm going to call this is this is the one we use internally, but this is our product generation framework. And this is essentially a framework to reliably evaluate products. Okay, and remember, this is just the first step in our three-step process. So what we want to do in this step is just start getting initial ideas. Okay, so if you've never sold on Amazon, or if you're trying to figure out what to sell, then this is a great video for you. Okay, now again, I want you to remember this is just a starting off point, so we're going to cover a lot today. This is my favorite part of the process, because this is when usually when we're starting to get into a new niche, or we're evaluating something, this is the first part, and it's the funnest part, because you get to see so much, and you're gonna see when we cover all the places we're gonna tell you, so you can start generating ideas. Why, at least for me, this is my favorite part. Other than, of course, like cashing in the checks. But anyways, so yeah, this is the first step in your due diligence. Okay. This is not the last step, and at the end of this, what you want to have is, like ideally, you want to have like 1 to 2 to 3 products that you are confident about, that you can sell, that they'll be good for your market, and that they will sell well. Okay, and like I told you, usually we look anywhere from 50 to 100 products before we actually decide on any single market. So yeah, this is where you kind of want to this step is exactly for that, right? Product generation. This is not the step to like start filtering or anything like that. You want to be filling up that funnel. Okay, this is something that you should be doing every single day. uh Again, most products anyways, they're going to get filtered out in our due diligence step, so we'll make another video about that. Remember, patience is key when doing this. Okay, so you want to just, again, you want to look as much as possible, okay, but as thorough as possible, quickly. And that's what I think this process will do for you. That's what it does for us. It allows us to have something reproducible, kind of like a checklist that we go through. And after you do this a few times, what you'll find out is that it becomes easier. So yeah, the first successful product is the hardest, right? So like finding your first niche, finding that first product that you're absolutely in love with, that you have done your due diligence, that you know that you've sourced it, that you are confident it's going to do well. That one's the hardest. But once you get, once you get that wheel spinning, the rest are going to become easier and easier. Okay, so I just want you to trust the process. And here I'm going to give you everything we use as far as like the steps we use to generate ideas, and I think you should have no problem generating ideas after you finish this video. The focus of this is to find initial ideas. Okay, brainstorm as much as you can. No filtering. Okay, so just you kind of can have as much fun as you want and look at pretty much any category, anything goes. Okay, because we're not doing any of the we're not doing any of the filtering or the due diligence, that we're going to go into more detail once we actually decide on the 2 or 3 products that that we really like. So again, we want to remember kind of like our criterias for what's a good niche, right? So if it's a busy keyword or niche, we're gonna need to dig down a little bit more, right? So if we go into something, for example, like running shoes, maybe that's too competitive, right? So maybe we want to look for something more specific related to sports, right? So sports might be too competitive. So maybe running shoes, it's one niche, like it's one scope down, right? So you want to niche down. You really want to know who your target customer is. This evaluation, this first part of the analysis will help you figure that out and like really come up with a good customer avatar. But that's once you figure that out, then that's when you want to, once you have that clear in your head who your customer avatar is, you've researched enough products, you can scale the product SKU, so you have a lot of products that you can eventually sell to the same customer. Then that's kind of when you want to go ahead and say, yeah, this is a niche that we want to actually do more due diligence on. So again, you also want to think about when it comes to evaluation. Okay, what advantages can you bring to the table? So as you're analyzing different niches, as you're analyzing different categories, for example, if you have a lot of capital and then someone doesn't, then that's kind of an advantage you have. At the beginning, you might not have that advantage, but as you start scaling and as you start adding products to your product line, you will have more capital, and that's an advantage that you can say, hey, you know what, now we want to go into something a little bit more competitive, because we have more capital, right? Maybe you're a product expert. Okay, so maybe you're selling something that's really niche, or something that's really specific, like let's say fishing or golfing, or something along those lines, and you're an actual expert. So you can, you know what the avatar is, You already know what people like. You already know what people need. That's that's an advantage that if someone else might not have, that you will have. So when you're doing your product analysis, it's not going to take you as long. You're going to go right, for like a product that you're like, if this could be done better, or this is the product that everyone needs at the beginning, anything like that that makes you an expert, was going to help you out a lot. And usually, and hopefully with this analysis, that's also what we're going to get you to do. We're going to get you to not become an expert at everything, but hopefully niche down. And as you do get into your niche, and as you start doing the due diligence, then that's where your expertise is going to come in. And also, I think one of your main advantages, if it's not your own story, then someone else's story that you want to bring into your product. But having a story to tell about your product, your brand, all these things, they're going to come into play as we start growing our business. And so, but you want to start thinking about that from the beginning, because that's any great brand. If you think about Apple and Steve Jobs, or Microsoft with Bill Gates, or anything like that, every great brand, or a lot of great brands, have some type of story, right? They have a story about who their avatar is. They have a story about, like, stories are what really, once you start building that relationship with your customers, they're going to drive so much of your communication. So much of that relationship is going to come from stories. So again, stories is something really key to think about right from the beginning. Okay, so we're going to, as we start evaluating, you're going to see that we're going to go through a loop of different ideas, different niches, different products. At the end of it, okay, remember, we want to look at 50 to 100 products. And then what we want to do is want to bring those down to like two or three that we feel absolutely confident about. Okay, like I told you, I don't like going into any market that I think that I'm not completely 100% sure that we're going to make money in. Okay. And that's the exact same criteria you should have. There is no shortage of good products to sell online, right? So there is no need for you to take a risk that's unnecessary. Take your time, be patient, look at a lot of product SKUs, and then after, pick two or three that you are absolutely about sure that they will sell well. Think about whenever you've wanted something, okay? Did you have to convince yourself, right? Usually not. So like, let's say, for example, I coach swimming sometimes, and one of the things that every new swimmer needs is they need goggles. They need like racing swimming bathing suits. They need fins. They need like kickboards. They need all these new gear that if you're not a swimmer, you actually don't know about. But if you're a swimmer, like, it's just part of what you need for practice. But again, like, when you're starting, like, for example, like swimming lessons, something like that, that's not even something you think about. That's just part of the requirements, right? So that's a great, like, so for example, like Speedo built a great brand just around swimmers, right? Competitive swimming. So that's a great brand. I'm not saying you should go into that niche, but that's what you want to be thinking about, right? So like, whenever someone's going into swimming, then those are just the criteria. So like, let's say you're starting off selling goggles, right? But then you can see that every competitive swimmer eventually is going to need something. And then Speedo branched out into coaches. Like, what do the coaches need, right? And then they also sell things for coaches. Then they branched out into apparel. So it's not just the competitive stuff. Now it's just, it became a brand. Now there's t-shirts, there is, like, trunks, there is, like, pretty much Speedo sells everything. When it comes to swimming, you think Speedo, right? So that's what you want to become eventually. That's the mind share that you want to own in your customer's mind, right? So again, just to recap before we actually get into the meat of the presentation, this is just a place to start. Okay, this is not the final destination, right? So again, don't do any filtering. I'll tell you some of my favorite stuff. I'm gonna walk you through exactly everything we look at, and then that's gonna help us in the next step, which is the due diligence. But my favorite stuff usually, to start off, is hobby magazines or hobby stores. So again. And we're going to go into an in-depth list of this, so I don't want to get too much into it now. But at the end of this, we want to end up with a few keywords that are going to help us branch out and understand a niche. Okay, so let's get into the sources to find ideas. And I'm just going to give you the list, and then I'm going to go ahead and walk you through some of the actual process that we go through. So the first place I go to, if I'm like completely running out of ideas, or we're trying to go into a new market, is Barnes and Nobles or Chapters, depending where you are in the world. Usually just like find a library, and those libraries will usually have a magazine rack. Go there, okay, and just look through every magazine. Okay, you will be surprised at the things you learn. you would be surprised at the things that exist in the world that people do that you never would have thought of. But I find it that that's the best place. I usually go on a weekend or something and like take like a few hours and just spend some time there. Okay, go to the magazine rack, pick a few magazines up, look through them, and like start jotting down. Okay, bring a notebook and start jotting down ideas. It's gonna give you so many ideas. Okay, especially hobby magazines. Okay, these magazines, again, you're gonna find out exactly what's selling, what people like. If it's in a magazine, you can pretty much assume that it's something popular. Okay, and again, this might because it's a hobby and it's something that like the general public doesn't know. Usually these things are not very competitive, but you would be able to find usually something in that magazine. Okay, that's an edge that's going to give you like that first product you need, that first product idea that you're really going to make a lot of money with. Okay, or like start making like $5,000, $10,000 or something like this that you can later source. Okay, also your local library. So if you don't want to buy the magazine and or it's too expensive, you don't have like a look like a library around you, like a Barnes and Nobles or a Chapters, then just go to your local library. Okay, get a library card and talk to the librarian and ask them, hey, like, do you guys have any magazines? They usually do. They usually have catalogs that go back like I don't even know how many like how many years. It's a great resource. So again, get out of your house, go to the library. I think a lot of people that start on Amazon they want to stay everything online. Like don't do that. Okay, like my best ideas have come from the outside world. So go out, pick something up and like and again take a few hours, take a few days, start like writing these things down and you really at the end of this exercise, if you do it correctly, you will have not just one product idea, but like you should really be so excited about the market you're in. You should be so sure that there is a market for this. If there's a magazine, you can pretty much assume that there is a market for it. Okay, there's like if there's enough people interested that a whole magazine have been created around a hobby, then that's a pretty good sign. Another place I love to go is hobby shops. Okay, go to a hobby shop, go to Michael's, go like your local hobby shop, and just start walking around, see like what's selling. Spend a few hours in there. Okay, talk to the store owner. Okay, tell them, hey, like I'm interested in this or that, like what's selling well, or like whatever. Just start asking questions and you would find that they're a great resource as well, and they can usually just tell you so much about everything that they're selling, what people are liking, what's selling well, what's not, and they're usually pretty open about it. Okay, so just be cool. Okay, go in, ask questions, and again, it's worked well for me. It's worked well for our team, and we have found a lot of ideas. Usually, someone comes into the office on a random day, and they're like, "Hey, I mean, again, we've kind of made this kind of our ritual. So we'll go in like randomly, okay, and we actually encourage it. So part of our company, culture is that we give our employees money so they can go and spend it in like hobby shops. So like we want people to go and like spend some time in there, okay, like buy magazines, all that stuff. So like usually we have a bunch of these things just like around the office. It's pretty crazy, but anyways, do that yourself, okay? And usually you will find like a lot of great ideas at hobby shops as well, okay? So another great place I like to go is YouTube. Look for products with reviews, like people doing reviews on like products. So like let's say you're selling something to do with farming. I don't know, tractors and stuff like that, right? Figure out like look for videos that people are doing reviews on. Like that's usually that there's usually a demand. Okay, there's usually if people are doing reviews on something, then that means usually there is a lot of interest. Okay, because obviously someone's looking for them. Okay, so look for videos that have a lot of views and a lot of stars. This will help you out on like figuring out, especially as you're going into a niche, what are people talking about. Okay, what's interesting in that niche. So again, I just want you to get familiar. All these things should start again, like just write this list down, and after you're done with this, especially if you do this on a constant basis, literally you should never run out of ideas. Okay, so that's what I'm saying, be patient. Okay, even if you don't have money to spend right now, like you don't need the money. Okay, do this, like look through 50, 100, 200 products, and you will have such an intuition after like going through this exercise that very few people ever create. Okay, also look for products that you use in real life. I know this sounds obvious, but so many of us go through our days like kind of not thinking about anything, but once you start selling online, once you start selling on Amazon, you're gonna start like looking at your day completely different. I know I do. So anytime like we buy something new for the house, anytime the kids like need something, anytime we're doing something new, I'm always looking around for like what did we buy? You know, why did we buy that? Like why didn't we think about that before? I'm sure like if you have kids or something, like once you had kids, you were buying things that you had never thought about before, right? It's the same thing. Like once you start selling online, you're gonna start thinking of things that you never thought of before. Once you start like reading these magazines, the hobby shops, all these things, like once you start doing these things, literally, like you'll never run out of ideas. So again, look to your day-to-day life. It's a great source of ideas that you might have never thought about before. I know it sounds obvious, but it's true. Also, another thing that I started doing on like religiously, it's watching QVC and HSN. So if you've never seen any of these like Home Shopping Network or QVC, seriously watch those channels. You will learn so much about sales and like selling products and like how to package products, how to like eh, all those things. Like just watch these things. Like if you don't have it, like if you have cable or something, call your cable company, tell them, hey, I want QVC and like the Home Shopping Network, like they'll usually include it, I think, for free. Like I don't even know, but even if you don't have it, go to YouTube. They all have channels. Okay. Literally, this is like a better education than most colleges will ever give you into like what it takes to sell something and like start a company. So watch these things instead of like watching Netflix or something like that. Like watch QVC and HSN. You will be the weirdest person probably like within your friends and like group of friends. So like be ready for that. But who gives a shit? Okay, like at the end of the day, what you want is to make money. So I watch QVC and HSN any chance I get. Okay, and they're usually selling like right now the holiday season just passed. And again, like I would literally like wake up in the morning and like that's what I have on. Other people have Bloomberg and like CNN or like ESPN. I don't. I have QVC and HSN on like on my TV like running all day. Okay, and you should too. All right. Also shopping apps. Wish. Literally we get like Wish. You can download it on your iPhone, Android, whatever. It's on, I think it's on every app store. Like you can buy stuff on there. It's just like an Amazon, like something like that, but way cheaper, whatever. Look for those shopping applications on your phone. Literally, I promise you, we get packages from Wish every single day. Like it's yeah. So anyways, look what you're buying. Okay, like it's just so cheap that we end up just buying so much crap. Like it's not crap, it's like we're usually doing a lot of product analysis. So like we'll order something like every day. Like every day we just got packages coming in the door, right? Like you should do the same. Like it's not gonna cost you much. And just get in the habit of that. Okay, so like just start downloading some of these product apps and like again, like just start buying stuff. Okay, random stuff. Like see what's selling well. See, like start looking at the reviews and just order it and see how you like the product. See if you like it. Also, retail stores. I think we mentioned this before, but go into Walmart, Target, not hobby shops, but like retail stores. Like sign up for their catalogs. Okay, all these stores usually send like I mean it's not like promotional products, promotional information in your mail. And if not, like there's services that you can sign up that they'll start sending you these things. So go to Target, like sign up for their like pick up like their promotional stuff. Go through that stuff. Like it's gonna give you a lot of ideas. So also Facebook groups. Day-to-day life here more than once. Uh, Facebook groups. I'm gonna show you the kind of the analysis I do myself and the team does through Facebook group. But Facebook groups is a great resource when you want to actually find out really rabid like groups, niches, people that are like just like completely passionate about like certain something, like even if it's obscure and something you never thought about. Like Facebook groups are like this great place where you meet all these like fans about every single thing you can imagine in the world, and they're talking about all these things that they're doing, whether it's like knitting, whether it's like pretty much anything. Okay, like just Facebook groups. Once you find something, go ahead and look for every Facebook group that you can find and like join them. Okay, and just every day like read through the group discussions. Like you're gonna get so many ideas about people that are actually passionate about whatever it is that you're gonna be selling, that it's again, as far as market research goes, I think it's one of the most valuable tools. And that I we do a lot of research, and this is one of the best resources we have. Another great place that we have found ideas is garage sales. So, or like yard sales. Every weekend, again, take your family out, right? Go and like check out every garage sale that you can. See what people are selling. See like what people are collecting. Like what did people buy? What are they selling? Like these things. I'm like go out there with a notebook and like start jotting this. Again, yes, you're gonna become very weird. Okay, once you start selling products on Amazon or whatever, you're gonna become a weird person. I just want you to like to know that right now, okay? But it's so worth it, all right? Just like become weird, okay? Get obsessed about this. Once you start doing it, it becomes fun, okay? Get your friends, get your family involved, okay? Get in the car in the weekends, figure out every garage sale and in your neighborhood or like within an hour away, 2 hours, whatever, okay? Start driving, start checking out, see what people are selling, and it's gonna give you a lot of ideas. Also like meetup groups. I have friends that literally go every weekend. They're like car enthusiasts and they all like get together or like motorcycles or like there's all types of meetup groups, okay? Find a meetup group, start going to those meetup groups about like whatever it is people are passionate about. And again, like you would just like hear people talk about like there is I think a group for anything that you can imagine, okay? And people are going to talk about it in such a way that you had never thought of. And if you're just starting off, like again, you're going to be leaps and bounds ahead of everybody that's just trying to like make a quick buck on Amazon, okay? That's what I'm saying. If you get serious, if you become a professional, and you take these things seriously, not just will you never like run out of ideas, you will know so much about every single market. Like you will have such an understanding and such an affinity with your market that once you start like selling them products, once you start building that relationship, it's gonna be hard to compete with you. Okay, I can tell you, okay, from experience. It's just gonna be because you're gonna know so much about like your customers and you're gonna get to know who they are. You're gonna get to know what they talk about. You're gonna get to know where they meet. All these things in today's world, there's literally no reason that you shouldn't be doing all these things. Okay, it doesn't take, most of them do not take money, right? Most of them just takes a little bit of time, you figuring it out and then going and doing it. All right, and like again, like I think you're gonna find out that in a short amount of time, you're really gonna be sure about the things that are going to become successes for you or not. And before you even start sourcing products, you will have a great idea if you follow these steps. Also go into malls, okay? In the weekend, go to the mall, okay? Start doing window shopping or whatever. Like just go to the mall, like get like your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your family, whatever. Hey, let's get in the car, let's go to the mall. When you go in the mall, check out every store, okay? See like what stores are there, see where people are congregating, okay? See where people are going. Like again, like don't be too weird, but like just like check out what people are buying, all right? Start looking. Like again, like this is stuff like we do all the time. All right, we get the team like once we go through this list, like the team, usually some people, more people like going to malls, some people like looking at YouTube, but we usually have something that everybody can do to like start getting ideas. And like literally we have more ideas that we can implement. So I'm going to show you like our products, like as you go through the series and all that stuff. Like really, we're not worried. I think we have way too many ideas that I mean, essentially, we would love for you to implement some of them. And if they work out great for you, like let us know, okay? Like we'll put you in the show. We'll talk about products, details, like what's working, what's not working, all these things. Anyways, like we'll get the ball rolling for you. But I think these are great places. This is exactly what we do to find our own ideas. Another great resource is HGTV. So like yeah, home and garden television. Like I watch these things all day with my parents. Every time I go to my parents' house, they're like watching like home improvement. They're like doing something in the house, whatever. We've gotten so many ideas from that. Like it's honestly it's been it was surprising for me when I started. But there's all these channels. Call your cable company, call your satellite company and ask them, hey, what channels can I get? Forget the sports channel, forget the movie channels. What channels can I get? Like QVC, like Home Shopping Network, hobby channels, and like just like again, like commit to this and be like, yeah, add them to my plan and watch that stuff all day, okay? Turn off the news, turn off the sports for a while, and watch these things every day. Like you will have so many ideas and start writing them down. Like I said, literally we look at 150, 100, 200 products before we go in an itch, but we're looking at product all day long. Like it's just what we do. I mean, like it's a constant thing. That's what I'm saying. Like it's I find it weird when people are like trying to get into Amazon and like they try to come up with like this hacky ways, like tools, this, that, and the other. I'm like, like we use tools for other stuff, but a lot of our sourcing ideas like don't come from tools. Like yeah, we like some of the tools help us like understand like how much like are people selling, like what are the reviews, this, that, and the other. And like we'll definitely go into that for like the due diligence. But like to generate ideas, literally there's so much in today's world that you can like just like there are so many resources that once you start like, thinking in this way, like have a notebook with you and a pen with you every single, like everywhere you go. You're gonna hate yourself because ideas can come at any time. Okay, like you're gonna start generating so many ideas that you're not gonna have enough time just to start sourcing, and like it's literally you're gonna need a team before you know it. Also, like I think we spoke about this before. When you go into your library, like check out the magazine rack. Okay, like it's full of hobby magazines and all these like catalogs and stuff. Like you can just look at, like start like just like flipping through the pages. Okay, go to Barnes and Nobles, like spend a few hours in there, like buy some like coffee and just like take a chill day. All right, do it in your Saturdays, do it in your Sundays, whatever. And I would suggest get your family involved. Okay, like don't do this thing in the vacuum. Okay, like don't do like this obscure thing. Like get your wife, get your husband involved, get your kids involved. I would say, oh my god, if you have kids, get them involved early, because like it builds such a great environment for your family. Get them to know that, hey, like this is what we do. Like this is again, like this is how you start a business. This is what I do with my kids. I love teaching business, okay? And again, like we do this as a family every single, like every day. Like we're talking about products, we're looking at products, like, and then once you start seeing the kids actually coming to you, like mom, dad, like check this out, like catalogs, like you have no idea. I'm gonna show you some catalogs actually that my kids love, skateboarding catalogs, and in there, like that's not a catalog I would have like picked up myself maybe a few years ago, but like it's not one like I'm necessarily interested in, but they are. So like again, like kids, like, do you know how hard it is to say no to a kid? So there's a lot of money to be made from like parents and stuff like that. And again, like kids are a great resource for like, I know it sounds horrible, but it's true. Like kids are, kids, teenagers, they're so passionate about the things that they're passionate about, that like a lot of adults don't have that passion, and like they would do anything just to like be cool into their groups, into their culture. Like kids have this whole culture going on within themselves, and all these things are things that they're great resources, not just to understand, like to find good products, but to understand like who you're selling to. Okay, and again, like I told you, as you grow your business, you're gonna find out that the most important part of your business is not just your products, but it's that relationship that you start building with your customers. That relationship is gonna matter so much in the long term if you want to like do this for the long term and like really grow a business, and not just like sell a product here and there, make like an extra $5,000. We're gonna get you through the $5,000 mark, I believe, like so quickly, okay, that you're gonna like speed past that. And then what you are gonna want to do is you're gonna want to scale to like the $100,000 mark, $200,000, seven figures. That's kind of where we want to get you. All right, but again, that's when you have to really start thinking this as a bigger picture, and like your communication is gonna come so is going to become so important, and that affinity you have with your customers. So like doing all this work in the beginning is going to pay dividends later on as your company grows. Okay, again, we're going to go through some of the apps. So like Viral Launch web app, again, we use these things sometimes to like do product research, but it's you don't really need the application. Some of them are paid, like you don't need it. Okay, but again, if you want to go ahead and use them, they're useful for some stuff. They have some data that like they've aggregated, and but you can get the data without the apps too. You can Another good tool is Google product search. I'm going to show you something pretty cool called Yasif. um, Anyways, I'll show you that in a minute. Just that's another great, once you have a product, it has like, it creates this graph of like all the other things that are like connected to it. It's crazy, but it's like it gives you a good idea of like your whole market essentially. It's super interesting. Also Pinterest boards. We usually like to look at least I do. I look at Pinterest boards or like Etsy and things like that for packaging, or like just to generate ideas. But yeah, there's a lot of great like pictures and things like that that you can look. And again, like I said, part of building a relationship really is going to be like, can you go the extra mile? Okay, always think about the user experience that you want to deliver. And I would say, again, part of not being an amateur, part of being a professional is going that extra mile for your customers, because it's going to put you in. Okay, you want to be thinking mind share, and it's going to put you, when it comes, once you deliver a great experience to any person, they're always going to want to come back and do business with you. Okay, so again, the most expensive thing in any business is getting that first customer. So once you do get that first customer, don't squander that opportunity. Okay, make sure that you over deliver on that first experience. Okay, send them a thank you note. Let them know that you care. Okay, like everything. Okay, you like just start thinking every single step what you can do, so that that person, whenever they have an experience with you, they're like, wow, like I haven't felt that type of relationship with a brand in a long time. Okay. Again, think Disney versus like the town fair, right? Completely different experience. And that's who you want to become. Okay, you want to become Disney, you don't want to be the town fair. Okay. So another thing is, I left this towards the end. I know we're going to be selling on Amazon, but as far as generating product ideas, a lot of these courses and tutorials like tell you like, hey, look at Amazon, like what's selling, what's not selling. I mean, I find that to be just so again, like I'm gonna put it here because it's obvious, but like that's really the last place we usually look at when we're sourcing. It comes into play more and more when we start doing the due diligence for like, but sourcing ideas, other than like figuring out whether it's super competitive or not competitive. That's like, you want to go to Amazon because eventually that's where what we want to fulfill with. But yeah, Amazon again, it's another great place. But again, like leave that to the end, or like if that's where you want to start there. But it's, I think these other ideas that I've spoken to you about, they're a great place, and we have definitely getting a lot more ideas from all these other places. And then at the end, what we do find out is that through all this, it kind of just reinforces once we go to Amazon that we do have a good product. And again, it comes more into play in the due diligence step, but it's also a great place. Yeah, it's a great place for sourcing ideas, and like figuring out whether something's stable or not. But it's gonna come more into play later on. Okay, here also are a few mindsets to generate good ideas. This is like, if you're not thinking in product, maybe you want to start thinking in other ways. We have found that some of our ideas come from like thinking in this way. So we have like, divide your day, get like a notebook and like divide it into like these four sections. After 5 p.m. activities. Okay, so like think about things that people do after 5 p.m. So after they get out of work, what are people doing? Okay, so like again, get to know like your customers, get to know what people are doing, get to know their behavior. Also like divide it into after Friday activities. So like what are people doing on the weekends? Okay, are they going golfing? There's this great thing that like some people go bowling, some people go to the movies, some people like to go top golf. Like just figure out like after Friday activities. Okay, some people like to host friends. Think about all these things. Okay, like after Friday activities, after 5 p.m. activities. There's another one called before Monday activities. Usually we get the team together, and like these are things that like everybody, whenever they have something, we have a board, and like they'll just like pin an idea they have there, and eventually, like maybe like once a quarter we come back and like, aggregate all these ideas and really go through like once we're going into a new niche or we're trying to build something out, like this is what we usually do. um so also another great thing to do to generate ideas is divide the house into sections and think about each room. So think about all the products that are in your bedroom right now, right? Think about all the products that are in your kitchen. Think about all the products that are in your bathroom. Think about all the products that are like that are in your yard. Think about all the products that are in your like office or library. Think about all the products that are in your foyer. Think about all the products that are into the when you come right into the house, that little section, like that there's like, just like decorations and things. Okay, think about all the products that are in your garage. Think about all the products that are in your patio. Think about all the products that are in your like again, like think about all these, like divide your house, okay, into all these sections, and then like really like like niche down, like think about every little section, everything that's there. Okay, like start taking inventory. It's going to start generating a lot of ideas. And once you get those ideas, then go back to some of these things that we've talked about and like start seeing like, is there a magazine for this? Like, where can we like find more about all these things? Also, another thing that has helped us and like has generated some of our bigger brands is divide your day into activities. Okay, so when you wake up, what is it that you do? So instead of like dividing the house into sections, another thing that we like to do is divide the day into activities. So like wake up, feed the dog, wake the kids up, go to the gym, like these things. Okay, play some like wake up music, whatever, like turn on QVC, HSN. Like just think about the things you do when you wake up, right? Make some coffee, call like a friend, whatever, all these things that require if it's Sunday and you're watching like Sunday football or something, right? Like chips, what like where do the chips go? Well, they like all these things to host friends. What do you need? Like all these things you really want to be thinking about. So yeah, taking the kids to school, watering the plants, laundry, hosting friends, all these things. Okay, divide your day into activities, and we're gonna come back to this, but before we get into the stories, let's go ahead and I want to actually show you some of the stuff that we talked about, so you can get a good idea of how do we do our research. All right, so remember the first thing we talked about? It's magazines. Um, Again, if you don't know, if there's not a Barnes and Nobles next to you or chapters or something, then go ahead online, okay, and just start looking. Like there are so many magazines that you don't even know that exist. Here, let's go through some of them. Let's go home and garden, lifestyle, literature, family and parenting, and let's go to craft and hobbies. Okay, like again, like just so you can see magazines that you've never heard of, but they do exist and people are buying these things. Okay, good housekeeping, family handyman, better home and gardens, birds blue, what's it called, yeah, birds and blooms, uh fine woodworking, that's a great niche, flowers, dwell, um Martha Stewart, uh house beautiful, right, Midwest living, okay, that's such a niche, okay, like farm living, that's a great niche, by the way. Fine gardening, it's not just gardening. There's a magazine about fine gardening, so you pick this magazine up and you're gonna have a completely different demographic of customers than just a regular gardening like demographic, right? Because these are like more affluent probably, so you can probably sell like higher end products. I don't know crap about gardening, but I can tell you that, we probably go into this niche and like there's a lot of opportunities that we will find. Farm and ranch living. Farm and ranch living. I love this niche myself. We own a ranch. We have a farm. And before we had a farm, I lived in the city, and I never had like taking care of animals or anything like that. But after the fact, like like it takes there's like this whole group of people that like live in farms, like most a lot of people do, like I'm a city person, like a beach person, but when we bought the farm, like it's again, there's like so many things that you just never know that like exist. Antiquing is huge, okay. HGTV has a magazine, herbs, like cooking. So yeah, let's just keep going. Lifestyle. Okay, this lifestyle. So again, the outdoors, parks and wildfire in Midwest, Baltimore, Philadelphia. So even within the cities, you can find out like what are people doing, right? What's cool, what's not, activities. Beer is a huge thing. Like a lot of people, there's so many beers. I don't know if you have a World of Beer around where you live. But like World of Beer, like if you ever gone to a place like that, like they have like literally thousands of beer, like selection. I don't drink much, but again, like we used to go with friends, and it's like wow, it's incredible, like the amount of beers that exist in the world. And again, if you're thinking about hosting and like selling products, like if you want to own that mind share, okay, hosting, like when people think of hosting, they come to you because you have everything when it comes to hosting, okay, and hosting a great party, like hosting a great party, it's like such a big deal. And there's a lot of people that like are interested in this. So again, if you like hosting, then sell hosting products, okay, there's magazines about this, like really get involved, like again, I yeah, there's so much. I think that's why I'm saying like this is my favorite part of the process, because there are so much opportunities. Poets and writers, okay, poets and writers, there's like not just magazines, there's meetup groups about this. I mean, it's so cool, honestly, like you can literally find a magazine on everything. What Yeah, so yeah, I mean, there you go. Go figure. What else? Let's keep moving. Let's see what other things we have here. Parenting. Oh, parenting is huge. Yeah, so guideposts. Irish roots. Irish, yeah, there is a market for you. Jewish press, angels. Yeah, I don't know, like there's a lot of magazines about like all types of stuff. Watches is a huge thing. Fashion's huge, right? And I know it sounds big, but like you can really niche down once you start like going into some of these magazines and you start niching down, and like you have no idea like what watch enthusiasts are into. But there's a lot of going goes into watches. It's not just going to the store and buying a Rolex, it's like they are deep into this stuff, right? There are people that like are into like suits and like like pocket squares and like all these things that like go into like dressing well, and I mean there's tailoring, there's so much stuff, arts and craft, quilting is huge, believe it or not. My mother loves quilting. Airplanes are a huge thing. And there's a huge community around Airplanes, outdoor photography. That's huge. That's massive. And it's expensive. There's a lot of products. There's a lot of money to be made in photography. Quilting. Wow. Yeah, woodworking is beautiful. I have an uncle that loves that stuff. And I mean, you go to his garage, it's like a shop. Yeah. So yeah, sewing news. There's a whole magazine. Like, these people print this stuff like this once a year, maybe. There's like quarterlies, there's like monthlies. So like trains are huge. I don't know crap about trains, but like I have like family members that love trains. Okay, like they buy train like collections. They like all these things. I don't know. So again, yard sales help with this stuff too. Yeah. So magazines, go to the magazine section in your library, and you're gonna find a lot of stuff that you didn't even know existed. And like just start sifting through a few. Here's chapters. So like if you live in somewhere where Barnes and Nobles is not a thing. Chapters, like go figure something out. Okay. Also like there's adult sections. Like there's a lot of money. I mean, we don't sell anything. We didn't sell anything in the adult section, but it's yeah. There's a lot. I mean it's I don't know. If you're into that, there's a lot of money to be made. Someone's certainly making a lot of money. Yeah, go to an adult shop. Like again, get outside your comfort zone. Yeah. So. Here's some of the niches that like I told you I love farming. So like once like we actually figure something out that we love, and like we're like, hey, this is something, then we go a little bit more in detail. Another thing I wanted you to like pick up financial reports. So like here's Tractor Supply. Again, like I hadn't even heard of Tractor Supply until I moved to the farm. But Tractor Supply is a $7.9 billion a year company. $7.9 billion. Okay, and like if you look here from like year 2014 till 2018, like this is growing. Okay, so this is a huge growing field right here. Farming equipment, all these things that like have to do with farms. Like go into a Tractor Supply store if like you live near one. Like you are going to be surprised about all this stuff that goes into farming, and like all these things, and like there's all like, and it's not something that's like an affinity market, right? Like you need these things like to run your farm. Like there's so much things that you need to run a farm. And again, like so like if you can find a good source to source your products, farming equipment, it's again, we love this stuff. So again, we look at financial reports. I want to show you just how much we look at financial reports when we start doing our due diligence for our products. Like these are just some of the financial reports. I mean, we really go deep when we're doing our product research. Okay, but that's what it takes. Okay, if you really want to treat this like a business, if you really want to treat this like a like something that can sustain your family, like look at this. Like this is stuff on all the products that we sell. We look at pretty much everything. Yeah. So there you go. Again, go into the stores. Like look at the items that are selling well, and then when in the sourcing videos that we have videos that we were calling up our suppliers, and you'll see us negotiate with them. So but again, like look at all these things. Like did you even know these things existed? I didn't at the beginning. Like there's like these like horizontal leg tanks, and like all these things that are necessary to like run the farm, like feed the animals. Like there's a bunch of stuff, and again, like they cost like $400, like $500, and you can source some of these things for pretty cheap. Okay, so there is again, and it's not affinity. Like these things like need to be bought. So it's not like just a hobby. Okay, like this is like for real. So again, I love this niche. Um, yeah. So anyways, other things, Zoom catalog, but there's a lot of these websites around. Also, subscribe to like every single catalog you can imagine. Okay. There's catalogs on all types of things, and I love reading like Rob Report. It gives us a lot of ideas for packaging. So again, there's like woodworking catalogs. There's biking catalogs. There's like all the. I mean, there's like literally pages and pages, and it goes on forever. Um, so yeah, Blue Generation, like what the hell is that about? I have no clue. Adventure This Way. So like if you're like into hiking, if you're into like rock climbing, oh man, what an itch. It's and like I love rock climbing, but like when you're buying carabiners and like rock climbing shoes, then you need a bag, then you need chalk, then you need all these things that you had never like even knew existed. Okay, there are so many niches to get into. So yeah, like have fun with this stuff, okay? Like sign up to every catalog, um, and like just start looking through them, okay? Even if you're not looking to get into the niche, you're going to find sometimes you find like ways to promote your product. Sometimes you find ways to package your product. So yeah, like get into all these things. All right, let's keep moving. I actually want to take you inside one of the catalogs so you can actually click on them. You don't even have to buy them. That's the great thing about this website. So you don't even have to buy them. Find a niche that you like and like just click on it, okay? I like part one. I mean, I have a lot of friends that are into golf. Sometimes we go to Top Golf. It's fun. I mean, I'm not a professional by any means, but like let's check this out just so you can see. Um, they go into golf balls. Like, look at all this stuff, right? Like, there's all these types of golf balls, and they all mean something to the people that love golf. I just, get a golf club and I hit it, and that's fine with me. But I mean, just look at all these things, right? Like, there's all these things. So if you're really into golf, like all these things matter. Like, look how much like they're buying packaging. The packaging matters. So like, did you even know like there's like, yeah. Um, let's see here. So places where to put that little thing that goes in the ground. Like yeah, that's like people buy that stuff. So if you find a great supplier that can supply that for you, that's again that's yeah. There you go. Like there's a lot of markets. So like going through these catalogs, even if you don't plan at all to go into the niche, it gives you such a great idea. Also, it gives you a great idea for like packaging and like gifting and things like that you never thought of. Remember, you always want to be the delivering that like unexpected experience. Okay, you want people that when they come to you and they get an experience with you, it's absolutely far and above what they expected, right? You want to think Disney, not the town fair. So again, like there might be some great products that once you start looking for suppliers, once you actually find a niche that you like, Harley Davidson, there's like all these things, gloves, golf balls. So anyways, yeah, just click on that. So the next thing here is Amazon bestsellers. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna get more into Amazon in a little bit as far as when it comes to like the due diligence, because eventually this is where we're gonna be selling our stuff. But Amazon bestsellers is a good place to find out what's actually like selling well. Again, look at the categories, go into the categories, like they separated by department and categories. Yeah, beauty and personal care. Beauty and personal care, it's a massive, massive, massive niche. Yeah, there's a lot to be sold in that market. There's a lot of stuff that again, remember, women are one of the biggest segments when it comes to buying stuff, especially buying online. So it's something to consider if you're actually into like if you actually do like beauty stuff, like go into that. Another thing I wanted to show you, it's YouTube. And remember, I told you, right? So look for things that people are leaving reviews on. So if people are leaving reviews on something, most of the time they're not sellers, okay? Like most of these people are like buyers, and like they're like fans, and they're people that are actually in the field like doing this stuff. So if they're leaving reviews and people are watching it, look for how many. Like, look at this video has gotten like almost 800,000 views. And it's a video on bass fishing. So it's not just on fishing, right? Like there is bass fishing. So if you own that market, bass fishing, lures, tackles, everything that has to do with bass fishing, and you find a good supplier, and like there's like 800, all right, 1,000 people have looked at this. Okay, this is not a small niche by any like stretch of the imagination. Just again, another thing that you want to do, it's whenever you find a market, go to all these channels and start subscribing. Okay, fishing TV live. So if you go over here, like I'm gonna show you, go to the filters and then click on live. Okay, yeah, rods, there's all these things that go into fishing. Again, fishing, hunting, they're great niches. And 12 hours of this stuff, and again, that's just one video. There's like a bunch of videos that you can. This probably happens like every day. It's live. Let's look at some other channels. So yeah, Fishing TV, go ahead, subscribe to that, right? And then you're gonna get to see all the stuff that go into the niche. The people that are actually real enthusiasts, they're gonna show you the products they like. They're gonna show you like what's working, what's not working, whether it's like boating, all these things, right? Yeah, ray fishing, like there's like all sort, like there's river fishing versus like sea. There's deep sea fishing. There's all, I mean, really, it goes on and on forever. Sports fishing, television. So there's like, again, different sections of fishing, and I'm just going on fishing just so I can kind of show you that once you find a category, once you find a niche that you really, really like, go ahead and go to YouTube. search for that category, right? And then search for either live or all the channels and subscribe to all those channels. Okay. And I would say start looking at that stuff like every single day. Rods, live bait rings, tuna. So there's, right, like there's all these things, and you can find good sources for this. This is one of my favorites. So this is HSN Live, Home Shopping Network. They have Home Shopping Network 1, 2, all these things, and you can find things when it comes to I mean, there's different languages. There is, let's see here. There's rings. So jewelry is huge. For the holiday season, I was watching a lot of jewelry stuff. Uh, yeah. Coin collection. There is knitting. There is bath essentials. Bath. Like, believe it or not, bath, huge market. People really like their baths. There's towels. There's soap. There is shampoo. There's all these categories that usually, especially, I mean, I don't want to like generalize, but as men, I really don't think about my bath so much, but I know like every woman in my family does, and every time I go into the bath, there's like, I mean, it's beautiful, it's all these things, and yeah, I mean, wow. But if you're trying to sell to that market, and if you like that market, if you're a woman like listening to this, then you would know this better than I would. But that's a huge market, right? And then you can already start looking for great suppliers if you already know what you like. Again, if you already have an affinity towards something, then you have an advantage over your competition, right? Because you actually like this stuff. So I mean, I love technology. I love the farming stuff. I love the hunting things. I mean, I love sports. So that's kind of what I go into. But like my wife, like she likes other stuff. My kids like other stuff. My friends like other stuff. So I mean, once you have this eye for selling, then you're gonna look at everything different. Okay. At home, HSN at home. So I would watch HSN. They're master salespeople. Okay, they're selling every day. Um, all types of products, really, all types of products. So like, watch how they position themselves. Watch the technology one is fantastic for Black Friday, for everything. I mean, they're selling underwear, bags, gym equipment, cooking things. Yeah, look at this. This is paper crafting. Paper crafting. What the hell is paper crafting? Origami? Who knows? But like, they're selling it, okay? And they're buying. Believe me, people are buying. So again, over here, I'm just gonna play this video. So this is flip flop. So flip flops. There you go. I mean, you can source these things. Ballet flats, and they'll kind of show you how many they're like people are buying. You can kind of see that, and this is usually during the segment. You can see that how much they're selling for. And then once you find a good source, you can kind of like see that it's selling well or not selling well. But usually, as you go through the channel, as you go through this, they'll tell you like, we have so many in stocks, and then they'll, so like, look at this thing. So like, these shoes, you might like them or you might not like them. It's irrelevant. Watch how they sell it, okay? And they've sold during the segment 2,169 as of, and there's still 2 minutes left, right? So they have urgency. They have all these things that we're going to talk about later. But yeah, I mean, 2,000 products during a segment. Maybe this is a 30-minute segment or an hour segment. I'm not sure, depending what they're selling. But I mean, this is the $100, $60 product, okay, that they've just sold like 2,000 of, right? That's insane, okay? Like, yeah, and again, I just want you to start thinking and making $5,000 to $10,000, but like, they've just sold $2,000 of this product at $60, okay? Plus upsells and cross sells and like all these things that you actually don't get to see during the show. But that all happens behind the scenes, and we're gonna be showing you. We're going to be teaching you about that stuff. But just so you know, right? So Home Shopping Network, subscribe to those channels. Look at this. This is I'm gonna mute this for a little bit. So pillows, right? Pillows. Yeah, sleeping is such a huge market when it comes to pillows, mattresses, like everything that has to do with decorations. This is stuff that you can source. I mean, it's massive. And again, I mean, I think it's actually really important. These are great products. So like, we have some of this stuff that we bought ourselves. But again, even if you don't, right? Like, even if you really don't care where you sleep at, sleeping is a huge market. People like it's important. Okay. So yeah, look at this. This is packaging products. So like, these things sell, okay, for $43, and like, we can probably find good sources to source these products ourselves and sell them. But again, I would subscribe to QVC, HSN. Watch how they sell. They're really masters of this stuff. Okay, like this little thing that slides in and out, you probably have seen that a million times in your life. in one of your like your parents' house, like your relative's house, probably your friend's house, but you actually never thought about buying that little sliding thing, right? Well, guess what? Like someone has, and they're selling them for $80. Okay, sliding cabinets, organizers. And so watch how they sell it. Okay, you can get great bullet points. You can like get great videos on how to sell your product. Like I think QVC, HSN, this is a better education than any college you're gonna get. You watch this thing every day, and you're gonna have no trouble selling like literally anything. I mean, sliding cabinets, really. Yeah, they're selling like a crap ton of them, I'm sure. Also, download Wish, download AliExpress, download Alibaba, download all these applications that are about like buying things online. Uh, we literally, I mean, I'll make a video at some other point in the future. We get so many packages every day. Okay, we get them at my parents' house. We get them in my house. We get them in the office. We're usually just buying stuff and always looking to see what new products we're gonna sell within the company. But every time we're trying to add a new product or we're trying to go into a new market or whatever, like these like yeah, we always have these applications downloaded and watch what people are buying. Okay, watch what people are selling. Watch how many reviews the products are like getting. Because again, this is going to give you a great intuition, and it doesn't cost you anything. Okay, so just start doing it. Groupon is still a great source for finding great ideas, right? So picture frames are a great niche, by the way. Uh, and again, this could be one of those niches that you didn't even know existed, and there's not a lot of competition, but they sell so much. Okay, because again, like always, like there's always events going on. Like pretty much, I know me and my friends, like my friends literally they have like they host people at their houses. They're great at that, way better than I am, but they're always inviting us. Okay, and there's always like pictures that we're taking, and like all of a sudden, like for for like my birthdays, like you get these beautiful picture frames. I've gotten them as gifts. So again, like there's usually like, and women are great at this. I think men, we have like a part of our brain turned off, and like we're like half retarded or something. But anyways, like there's people buying this stuff. Okay, planters. Yeah, planters for plants. Like pets are a huge market. Kids are a huge market. So yeah, jewelry is huge. All these markets, okay, they have huge amounts of people that are really passionate about, and all you have to do to start doing your due diligence is just start looking at this stuff. Okay, look at this stuff. This is a blanket with this is a I'm just laughing because I'm being reminded of a friend of mine. He has coasters that his wife bought with pictures of them, and we're always making fun of them. But anyways, but yeah, like this is this is that like this is a blanket, and like yeah, this is probably something funny that we would do. But here I'm gonna show you something. Here's Uncle G. I don't know if you guys know Grant Cardone. He's great. If you've never seen his stuff, go watch it. I mean, he's amazing. So anyways, I'm a huge Disney fan, so I want to show you Facebook groups. Again, Facebook groups are a great place to come and really understand your market, your customers, get to know them, see what they're talking about. I'm a huge Disney fan. I wish I could live in Disney World myself. I would live there in a heartbeat. But I'm a pass holder. I'm like signed up to so many of these groups. But if you go into the groups, again, like seriously, I mean, I love Disney. That's why I signed up. But like they're so passionate, right? Like they show you when they're going to the hotels, like all these things that they have. So and for all the niches, you will find things, right? So like the kids, you will find like when there's big lines when they go, like they're taking pictures, they're talking, and your customers are doing the same things for all the products, for all the things that you're interested in that you never thought of. There's a Facebook group for. Okay, so I would suggest go sign up and like just read the comments. Okay, start making like Google Docs like saving some of these comments, because this was going to allow you to create later on great listings for your Amazon products. It's going to allow you to create that great affinity with your market, and when you communicate, you're going to communicate in the same vocabulary, in the same language, and you're going to really get to know them and talk like they do. You're going to get to understand why they're so passionate about what they are. And it's not just going to be a transactional thing. As your business starts scaling, communication is going to become so important. And you're going to want to have, like, if you really want an edge, if you really want a competitive edge over everyone, like go ahead and sign up to every Facebook group your customers are on, and get to know them, get to love them. Like your customers, seriously, they're going to tell you everything they love. Like you don't, I mean, you literally, they'll tell you everything that they love for you to, so, because again, they love these things. They want to buy these things. So yeah, like I'm a Disney fan, so yeah. Uh, yeah, if you want to sell me something Disney. Yeah. Meetup groups are great. Look at this. Usually we go to like Pain with the Twist. Like that's a great place to go. There's meetup groups for volleyball. There's meetup groups for absolutely everything you can imagine: music, writing, sports, fitness. So again, get to know your customers. Like find out what meetup groups are around you, 1 hour, 2 hours away. Seriously, if this is a real business for you, if you want to take this serious, like driving an hour or 2 hours away to get to know your customers, that's not a lot. Okay, that's that. And again, what you're going to gain from that is going to be so huge. The advantage you're going to gain whenever you're selling your products, I mean, you're going to get to know who they are, and that's something that that no market research can supplement. Okay. So again, home and garden television, I'm pretty much going to showcase you stuff that we actually sell and niches that we're involved in. But I love home and garden television. Okay, every time I go to my parents' house, they're watching this stuff. I mean, people are watching this stuff. All these things, right? Like, look at the stools, look at the centerpieces, look at the lighting fixtures. All these things are things that they're selling. Okay, yeah. So anyways, check this stuff out, okay? Take it seriously because like posters, all these things, they're gonna give you great ideas. These sliding cabinets, these handlebars, these things are all things that you can source, but like watch these channels, okay? Get used to like knowing where your customers are. And there are so many niches that pick something you love because once you love it, it's not gonna become a job, okay? It's gonna become something that you're going to like seeing. It just so happens that I love home and garden television. My wife loves it. My parents love it. So every time that we're around each other, we're watching this stuff. That's just like the way it happens. So like we have a niche. We actually do sell home equipment. But let me just show you. So like I told you, I think one of my uncles um has he loves woodworking and look at this stuff, right? Like look at all these things that he has that he's bought. And like all this equipment, like if you know nothing about woodworking, you probably have no idea what any of this stuff, but there is a special glue that you use for like making things, right? There's a mallet, there's measuring tools, there is all these things that like this person right here, he's going to tell you everything. So like look everything around, you can source all that. And this person is not a seller, right? Like this person is an enthusiast. This person is someone who's spending money. They like woodworking. This is the niche they're into. So again, if like, and look at all the stuff that they have bought for their shop, right? And I have an uncle who's just like this guy, to be honest with you. And they create beautiful things. So yeah, like like get to know your customers. And so here's one of the catalogs I was telling you about my kids. It's called CCS. This is a skating catalog. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty scary. But there's a whole catalog that's just on skating, skateboards. And when you go through the catalog, it's not just apparel, but like they have skateboards, they have designs, they have like the wheels, the bearings that go on the wheels, they have apparel, they have all these things that go like helmets, everything. Okay, so get the catalog. So like we get this catalog every month in our house, and at the beginning they would get it, and then they would tell us like, oh, like we want to buy this or that or the other. But like now I even read this catalog. I even have some of the T-shirts. So yeah, get to know this stuff because it's great. There's pretty much like there's no reason whether you have even if you don't have money and you're just getting started with everything we're showing you here on how to generate ideas, you should have no trouble generating not just ideas but really getting to know your market. This is what we do ourselves. So I'm trying to show you just the best. This is gardening equipment reviews. So that's another thing I told you to look for. Look for reviews. Look for things that are getting reviewed. Look, these are all things for gardening. Look at all these tools that this person knows about, right? I don't know the first thing about gardening. We have a huge farm, but we have a gardener that comes in and like does our lawn and like all these things, but they have all these tools. And believe me, like we bought all these tools. We've definitely paid for them for the farm, but like my gardener would know a lot more than I would about those things, right? But in any case, everybody has a garden, right? So all these tools are necessary. And if you find a good place to source it, like these are expensive tools. And again, like all you gotta do is get one good product, okay? And it'll make you way more than than you can imagine. This is another great niche, which is gardening. Again, I don't know much about gardening, but my like a lot of people in my family are into gardening, and like especially more and more now. It's kind of interesting now that we have the farm. We're like trying to set up our own little garden and grow some of our own food. But anyways, I don't want to go into a tangent, but like these things that like go vertical. These are like things that I didn't even know existed, but like that there are ways to grow your food in a vertical versus horizontal. The only thing I want to impress upon you is that there's all these things that once you start getting into a niche, if you find that there's a lot of reviews, like there's 1,000 people that have viewed this video, but there's like hundreds of these videos. 4,000 people have viewed that video, right? That's a huge, like, there's a market here. There's a lot of people watching this stuff. And once you find, and again, she's not a seller. She's not trying to sell you anything. She's a person that she loves her garden. Look at all the things she's bought for her hobby. I mean, I don't want to say that this is a hobby for that person, because for that person it's probably not a hobby. Like, this is something that they actually enjoy. It could probably even be something like a lifestyle or something. So they for them it's a lot more serious than, like, they're not just dabbling, right? And they're spending money. Like, that's how you know that you have a good market, right? They're spending money. They love what they're doing. So, and you probably if you look around your own life, there's a lot of stuff that you would spend all types of money on acquiring things, whereas there's other stuff that you wouldn't even spend a dollar. So, like, once you love something, once you find something and a group of people that are into something, remember, all you got to do is get to create that great relationship and get to know them. So this is one last thing I wanted to show you. This is another one of the markets that we're into, which is equestrian. So if you're into equestrian and you're starting to get training, some of our, like, now we're getting some of our kids to so like training lessons. But going to Yasif, and Yasif is this great tool. So I'm just gonna put here. So I didn't even know the names of these things. So I was completely ignorant to this whole thing until, like, we moved to the farm. But like schooling helmets are like these the helmets you wear when you're riding. So if you write that, what this thing will do, this tool, it will show you kind of it'll go to Amazon, and it'll generate this graph of all the things that are like people also bought. So, like, in that section in Amazon where it says people also bought, or like, relative products, like, so products that are like that are similar, or that like belong to the same category, and all these things. This is an invaluable tool. So every time we're going into a new market, we actually go to yasif.com, and we'll start putting our keywords in here, and it'll start generating, and it gives us such a great idea, right? So, like, over here, although I only put like schooling helmets, you see that there's like riding gloves, there is like the gear, right? Like, this is the apparel that, like, people that ride that they wear, and it's a special apparel. It's not any apparel. The riding boots, special boots, right? The like all these things that, honestly, if unless you're really into this niche, like, I didn't know any of it at the beginning. So again, this is a great tool for any market that you're trying to get into. Go to Yasif and start putting in the keywords as you're finding products, and it'll generate this graph. And this will give you a great idea whether or not you have a market that you can expand later on, right? Whether you can start adding products as your business starts growing. So, anyways, um, I'm gonna switch back to the keynotes, and yeah, so I'm gonna cut it short here. Hopefully in this video hopefully you liked it. That's the first thing. Hopefully you got a lot of information, and it's valuable to you. This is exactly the process that we follow when we're trying to do some market research. But beyond that, beyond like getting that process, I hope you got an idea of the mentality that we have, the philosophy that we follow in order to grow the business the way we've been able to grow, and like to get it beyond 7 figures. So even if you're just starting out, all these things that we're doing right here, this is what a 7 figure business does. Okay, so we're giving you exactly what we're doing, and if you practice this stuff, if you literally put it into action, okay, you will get I truly believe you will get the same results. Okay, it's not rocket science, but so very few people do these things. So very few people take it serious. Also, one last thing, if you like the video, okay, subscribe to the video. We do this every day. If you have some feedback that you want to give us, like, leave a comment. Okay, we're not holding anything back. I honestly want to give you the best that we have. We want you to have a successful business. I honestly think this is a great opportunity. I wish I had this type of information when we were getting started, and you're getting to have it. So please subscribe to the channel if you like this stuff. Tell your friends. If you have, again, like, involve your family, involve your friends. This is such a great opportunity, and there's so much money to be made. There's really no shortage of it. And then wait till you get to the sourcing videos and all that stuff. If you haven't watched it, like check out some of the other videos that we've created, because we literally do this every day. So if you like this video and you got some value out of it, subscribe to the channel. You get notified every day, kind of when we release this stuff, and we really go into this. We love it, and we hope that you're loving it too, and we hope that you have a lot of success. All right, so see you in the next video. Take care.